Happy Saturday, everyone. Um, Figured I'd do a video this morning, and I know a few of my friends have been saying, well, you don't make any videos anymore. It's only been a week or so, but geez, I'll go ahead and make one. Saturday morning is kind of fun because Friday is where they hide everything, sweep everything under the rug that happened during the week to not get into the way of the feds pumping the markets. So Saturday morning's great. So what did they hide after market close yesterday? Well, of course, there was four bank failures. FDIC took over, which I don't understand how they're taking banks over because they're now, I guess, $25 billion in the hole. Um, they're trying desperately to get people to save. Of course, there's no reason to save. Interest rate is non-existent, so why would you save? Um, Another thing that came out besides these bank failures is after the market closed, the Congressional Budget Office came out and said, "Oh wow, we reran the numbers, and we're going to have to up the projected deficit from up another 1.2 trillion dollars." Oh, isn't that great, man? But you can't release that anytime during the week. That might affect the Fed and Goldman Sachs from pumping stocks to keep rioters out of the streets. So anyway, there's another 1.2 trillion dollars in debt above and beyond everything else that they had. The ridiculous debt that we're running. Another 1.2 trillion on top of that. Um, I'll leave a link to that article. Go ahead and read it. What else is happening? Oh, the how about a couple weeks ago, I think I did this video on the treasuries, and it's kind of funny. Somebody was writing me back. I said in that video that we're having real issues selling treasuries, borrowing money. The country's not borrowing money. And I was looking at this 30-year treasury they had this week. That was $18 billion, and on the surface it looks, oh yeah, well yeah, that treasury auction went okay. But if you look at the numbers, it's terrible. It's basically a collapse, and you can tell by looking at the direct bidders and indirect bidders on those treasuries. Now you can go in early. Everybody knows these treasury auctions are coming up, and if you wanted to buy some 30-year treasuries, I don't know what kind of insane maniac would, but you can go in and you can just directly buy them. Indirect bidders are going through the primary dealer banks, the 18 primary dealer banks. And so you don't see really who it is the thing with indirect bidders. But the number is so low now, usually those average of 45 to 50% is a good auction. And the reason that the indirect bidders are important is that's usually foreign bankers. The indirect bidders have to cover the treasury auction. They have to do it. So now they're saying what's such a low number, down to 28% was this one last week. This is 28%. So basically, what you're seeing is, again, not only are the markets being bought by the Fed, through Goldman Sachs and all these primary dealers, now you're seeing the treasuries just directly being bought by the Fed. In other words, you and me, we're buying it. So you and I are pumping up the stock market, and we're buying the treasuries, and we're buying everything else. I'll go ahead and leave links to these stories, but just kind of an update on what's going on. And by the way, the all this is about is the complete transfer of wealth, from us to them. And they're doing it every day through pumping these markets and loading treasuries to make things look good for the time being. But it's almost done. And my personal opinion about everything is, as soon as they get this healthcare bill done, and it has nothing to do with healthcare, of course. It's a framework. Of course, all these people have learned through the last 100 years when they've been trying to do this that of course they're all lawyers. What they're concerned about is having legal things in place to where if it for some reason doesn't work, They say, oh, well, we passed a law and all this. See, all we're doing is just following the law. So that's all that's contained in 2,700 pages of healthcare bill and all this stuff. It's to let them completely take away all your rights, all your guns. I guarantee, this passes. You're not going to go in there unless you get your your homes searched for firearms. And it'll be the same thing with food when they pull that the rug out from under that. You won't get any food unless your place is checked and verified that you're not keeping any food or firearms or any of that. That's what's coming. And the complete transfer of all wealth and all power is almost complete. It's right at the edge of the cliff right now. So it's not going to be much longer time. They're almost set to do it, and they want to do it bad. Just look at the media. I mean, MSNBC, they're going crazy with these Potok and these guys from the Southern Poverty Law Center. That little, I don't know where he came from, an elven from Narnia or something. That guy's, some bizarre hair lip, and everybody there looks like they're just bizarre people. These people are, they're bad and they're coming after you. So, anyway, have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.